Hey everyone, how are you doing? You Mike here. As you can see today, we're looking at the 75 gallon because we're going to tear this tank apart today really bad in preparation in preparation for our new plants. So I actually won an aquarium auction, the aquascape room. I had a live auction last night and I won an auction. So I got a bunch of new plants coming in. I've been meaning to do a lot of work on this tank for a while. I just really haven't been feeling up to it. So it's kind of at the point now that if I don't do something with it, it's going to just, go to waste. And I don't want to waste these plants. It's just, it needs some TLC. And I really, like I said, I haven't been able to get in here and really do any work on it. But I do feel a little bit better today. So I'm going to just kind of get started. There's so much work to do. I'm just going to kind of show you here. Now, right here, from here all the way to this corner of the tank, there's sand. There's sand underneath this. Now, what happened is my fish was digging out all this area in here, and the sand basically, or the aquasoil basically worked its way down to here. And then I had the plecos that like to come under the wood. So we're going to have to come up with something a little different so they don't pull out all this gravel and aquasoil because it's really kind of harming some of my plants in the back. So I got to do a little bit of figuring out. Having this fish in here, it's kind of difficult sometimes because it's, the environment, he changes his environment. So a lot of people that deal in aquascapes don't have to worry about issues like that because they use fish that aren't going to mess around soil or move stuff around. And that's not what I was looking for when doing this. I wanted to kind of put a fish into an environment that I was really going to like, even though it might have possibly moved some things around. We did put a lot of time, me and Kevin, into trying to think about how the fish was going to move and how the fish is going to react with the tank. And we got a lot right, but there's a couple things we got wrong. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the hydrocotyl that's just kind of taken over the back of the tank, and we're going to put some hydrocotyl here down in the bottom. I'm going to move over these anubias that I put on rocks over. I'm going to have to reattach all of this anubias back down. And I'm going to really have to do some trimming in this quarter. You can see the Alternatera reinecki. Some of this is going to be trimmed and cut down. And like I said, pull out all of that hydrocotyl. Then we also got some work to do in here. I'm going to fix up some of the bulbitis. Because I've got so much bulbitis. And Java Fern. Like, people don't realize, like, I got so much Java Fern, I don't even know what to do with. And I've got a full bag here. This bag here is full of Java Fern. So, like, I've got so much plants here, I don't even know what to do with, and it's time to just kind of clean this tank right up and kind of get it ready. Wow, this bag was kind of dirty. It's sitting up on the top here. It kind of made a mess of my tank. But that's okay, because this tank is going to be totally destroyed once I move all this aquasoil over. It's going to be pretty gross, because the aquasoil, there's so much fine sediment in the aquasoil. It's going to turn my tank into probably a swamp here. So I'm going to get started on this. Hopefully little fishy doesn't take off my hand, and wish me luck. I think my plan to sort the sand is I think that the sand will fall through the net, the mesh of this, but I think it will hold the rocks and the ADA soil. This is my hope. If it doesn't work as planned, I'm going to have to come up with a new game plan, but this was my thought. So I'm going to try to give it a scrape and see. And I really hope this works. Well, by the looks of it, it looks like it is possibly working. What I'm going to do is get a bucket, and I'm going to put all this ADA and gravel in it. And let's see how far I can get this. Because if I can get out sorted, this will probably make a real big mess of the tank because I'm sorting through the substrate like this. But I might be able to save some of this Colorado sand. This bag of sand is super expensive from ADA, so if I could save it, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I found a bin. I'm going to put all this ADA soil here in a bin. So this here is all ADA soil and some black gravel. The black gravel I had just basically tucked under on the steel plate that I put. Now there's this, not a steel plate, the ceramic plate that I put to hold this giant piece of wood down. So this was kind of like weight to hold that plate down. I'm pretty sure now that it's mostly sunk and I won't have to worry about that, but I think if it would have came up, it would have came up by now. Little fishy, don't you even think about it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove as much sand as I possibly can. By this, I'm going to use a hose, and I'm going to use a bucket. Wow, this is working so well. Do you ever want to transfer sand from a tank? Do it like a suction dredge, because this is such a good idea. Okay, so now I got the Python running, I got my bucket draining out. I could actually suck continuously now and just dredge out all of the sand that's still left in the tank. This is working a lot better than I thought it was going to, so right on. Alright, so I've got 90% of the sand out of this tank now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the 80/80 soil. I have the bucket of the stuff that I sifted out. So this is all the sifted sand, 80/80 soil, and the black gravel that was in there. So I'm going to pack this back down under here. I'm going to kick my pleco out from under there. And then I'm going to fill in this whole area here with the 80/80 soil. And then from there, we're just going to go on a wild trim because there's, like I said, so much stuff needs to be just trimmed back. Especially on the right side there, that and even on the top, the bulbitis, some of the anubias up here isn't even doing as well. It's just it's so overgrown now that it's killing out light, and we just got to trim some out. So I'm gonna start with all this, get the 80/80 soil in there. It's probably gonna make the tank look a little bit funky, and we'll see how it goes from there. Oh boy. She ever make a mess in there? Alright, so I've got this kind of done here now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to plant some of these plants back down in here. And on the bottom, though, this is really isn't going to stay like this because, like I said, all these plants I got from the auction, they're going to be coming here in this left side. And this hydrocotyl is kind of a little bit difficult to get to stay down. But I do have some little rocks here, which I'm going to kind of use to help for that. Okay, so I think I'm going to take these rocks here. And I'm going to kind of use these rocks as like a barrier or a dam to stop my fish from digging out this corner. Because like I said, I've been dealing with issues with the fish digging. And it's been kind of an issue. So I'm going to try to do this the same way that when we first designed a tank, that all the rocks are kind of going the same way. It kind of gives it that feel that it looks more natural like that. Alright, so now that we've got pretty much all the bottom done of the tank, what we have to do is kind of figure what we're going to do with the top. Now the top is just, like I said, totally overgrown. We've got a lot of plants here. I've got, like I said, this whole bag of Java Ferns, and I've got some more floating around, so I'm going to put more in the bag of Java Fern. And maybe I could just pull this out so you guys can actually see how much Java Fern I have. Like, I'm really not joking about how much Java Fern we got here. Tonnage of it, and some of it's really even not even doing that well because it's really not getting any light. So I think we're really gonna have to cut off some of these dead leaves and It's unfortunate it just got so much I don't know what to do with it. So we're going to have to, like I said, we're going to have to clean this up. Because there's still a lot of good Java Fern here. It's unfortunate that some of it is going to waste though. And this all happened while I was in the hospital, so I couldn't really do much about it. But let's get this put back in here. We're going to get this cleaned up maybe later on today. And we'll try to get these on rocks and try to sell them off or something like that really cheap to some of the locals. And hopefully someone can get some enjoyment out of them. Alright, so for now, because we need to get access to this bulbitis, I'm just going to put these off to the side. I'm going to grab all these chunks of anubias, because once again, I got so much anubias here floating. And most of this anubias is going to come back down here on my centerpiece. Like I said, I still got some work to do here. So I'm just going to take the anubias out of here. And I got a ball of hydrocotyle. And once we get rid of this, we have pretty much everything out of the top. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pull out some of this bulbitis. Like I said, look, I got some of this stuff it's really long. It's sitting up at the top. It's basically taking away all of the top space. No light can get down to the bottom. So that is not working. So we're going to have to fix this here. And I think what I'm going to do is just trim out a little bit of this bulbitis, and I think we're going to give her, we're just going to let her go like that for now. I think with the amount of work that we've done in this tank is, it's definitely quite a bit. Oh, I was able to pull out a nice chunk of bulbitis here. Alright, so as you can see here, I think we did a pretty good job on the tank. There's definitely still needs a little bit of trimming up top, but I am just absolutely done. I just cannot do anymore. I can't stand for more than 2 minutes at a time. This whole video has been filmed in like 2-minute clips because I just can't stand up and stand over this tank to actually get it done. So I think this, it's going to have to stay like this for now. When we get some more, when we get our plants coming in from the aquascape room, we'll have to kind of try to spend a little bit more time in it and see what we can do. But right now, I'm going to call it quits. I think that we did a good enough job for right now. It's not going to do any more damage. I think we've cleared up some of the space here up at the top. Let's just leave it like this for now, and we'll get back out of here in a couple of days when we feel a little better and feel a little bit more active. I know that there's been a lot of people that have been asking, you know, have been missing us, that we haven't been around as much. We do have another channel as well. We're here in the fish room where we're just talking about other things. The channel's called Down with Prohibition. If you're interested in that, feel free to come check us out. You can check on our main page. You'll see up at the top there. It's our other channel. It's right at the very top. So if you want to come and check us out, that'd be really cool. Down with Prohibition. But as of right now, this is the way we're going to leave her. We'd like to thank everybody for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed, and you guys have yourself a great day.